When I first started on YouTube, in order to record videos directly into my computer, I had to use this piece of equipment right here, which is thousands of dollars and incredibly difficult to set up. Oh, and it also broke like a year in. Luckily for you, there's a completely free program called OBS, and this program, in my opinion, is even better than these extremely expensive stream switchers. And most importantly, we use this for batch recording, because you do not want to be just recording one video at a time. You want to have 1 or 2 days out of the month where you record 3 to 6 videos. So you just get it all out of the way in a few hours. That way you don't have to set up your entire studio or anything like that. You can just batch record everything all at once, and then you don't have to worry about content for the rest of the month. And in today's video, I'm gonna be showing you exactly how I use OBS in my 7-figure YouTube business. So if you appreciate me doing this video, go ahead and let me know by gently tapping that like button, and let's jump into it right away. First thing you wanna do is, if you don't have OBS already, you want to type in OBS project and go to obsproject.com, click on it, and then whether you've got a Windows, a Mac, or a Linux, select the correct one. In this case, I will select Windows, and then you want to start downloading it. Once it's downloaded, you would click this right here, and it will open up. Now, this is what it'll look like when you first open it. It's completely blank, and it might look a little bit intimidating because there's a lot of buttons and there's a lot of different windows here, but don't give up because it's actually quite simple. Now, I'm gonna quickly explain each one of these, and I'm gonna show you how you can set up your own video and audio interface so that you can record videos directly into your computer. Now, by the way, the reason that it's important to record videos directly into your computer is because it saves you a massive amount of time and effort. First of all, in many cases, there may be some type of problem with your video or audio, and when you're able to record it directly into your computer and then check it right afterwards, you're gonna realize right away that there's a problem. So this will save you the pain of recording an entire video just to realize there was an audio issue or there's some type of interference or your face wasn't in focus, which, by the way, that has happened to me dozens of times, and each time it's worse than childbirth. So let's start with the scene panel at the bottom left. This is where you organize your different layouts or setups. Then you have your sources panel right here. These are the individual elements that make up your scene. So the cameras, the window screen capture, if you have an iPad connected, etc. Then you've got your mixer, right? Your audio mixer. This is where your audio setup is gonna be. Then you've got your scene transitions. Now this is more important for lives. We don't really use that because we have a great team of video editors. Then you've got your controls over here, and this is where you start to record, stream. You can also use it as a virtual camera, and you can access these settings. So next I'm gonna show you everything from my perspective, like what it looks like to me right now. And don't worry, because I also did an entire studio tour where I show everything in detail, but I'm just gonna show you what it looks like from my perspective and the basic setup with OBS. So I'm gonna start the video right now. So this is what it looks like. I'm looking at the teleprompter. Definitely follow the instruction on that, very important. This is the computer. This is my screen down here where I actually look at my current OBS settings, which we'll be showing you quite soon. You can see that it is recording. And this is my second camera. So this is the first camera with the teleprompter. Here is my second camera angle. And then it's also capturing the screen right now. And this is all happening, and it's all recording automatically directly into this computer. So we have this screen right here as cam A. You can see cam A. Then cam B is there. It's that angle. And then there's a double cam check, which is both cameras at once, just to make sure they're both functional. And then we have the screen recording, which is recording the screen right there. So very, very useful. It all records directly into one computer. Now, I will say that back probably about a year ago, I was just using a MacBook, and I don't think that MacBook would have been able to handle all 3 recording at once. So you probably want to get some type of either gaming PC or gaming laptop if you want to record all 3 into your computer at once. And you also want to make sure you have a really strong air conditioner because it can get a little bit hot, okay? So at this point, I'm also going to hand the phone to Jas. He's going to be helping out, and he's gonna show the perspective behind the camera. So here you go, Jess. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like on the back side of the camera. That's cam A, that's the angle 1. And then cam B is over there. That's what it looks like over there. And you can see the wires that we use, and we plug those wires directly into the computer. So we'll have those wires pop up on the screen. We'll have examples of what those are pop up on the screen. Of course, there's like many different wires that you can buy. We'll just give the examples of the ones that we bought. Also keep in mind there is an audio interface here, and we are using the Shure SM7B mic. Now, with that being said, you do not have to have all of this fancy equipment. And in fact, I recommend if you're just starting on YouTube, do not get all of the fancy equipment, right? Use simple equipment. Because even just using an iPhone, you can get really, really good quality just straight out of the iPhone with the audio and the video. And especially with the audio, you can use tools like Adobe Podcast to make your audio sound a lot better if it isn't really good right off the bat. So, you know, Adobe Podcast is really great. I'll kind of show you a before and after so we can actually just use the audio from the iPhone and you can see what the audio sounds like from the iPhone, from the Shure mic, and then from the iPhone with Adobe Podcast, right? So we'll have the editor edit all three of those and you can kind of just see what it sounds like. And obviously the Shure mic is gonna be the nicest, but the audio from the iPhone after you put it through Adobe Podcast is still really good, right? So yeah, that's what we're using. You can also set OBS up directly from your iPhone. So you can record directly from your iPhone into OBS, and you can also set up audio interface with your iPhone. There's lots of tutorials on how to do that online, so I'm not gonna go over how to do that in this video, but it's definitely possible to do that, and that's what we recommend when people first start, because honestly, iPhone or even, you know, Samsung phones, they have phenomenal cameras, and the audio is pretty good too. But keep in mind, guys, we have the camera connected to a cam link. This is something that you need to do with DSLRs. With the phone, you actually don't have to do that. But with the DSLR camera, especially the Sony a7S III, which is what we're using, with the 35mm f1.4 Sony G Master lens, it's a pretty beastly camera. And so you're gonna need to use what's known as the Elgato cam link with that. So additionally, I have a pedal, which is also an Elgato product. Elgato is awesome. I use the cam link, I use the teleprompter, and I also use the Elgato pedal. And basically you push the pedal and it'll go up and down when you push the pedal on your teleprompter screen. Now it's down here. This is an extra pedal that we have. And yeah, it's just super amazing for controlling stuff on the teleprompter. So it goes up and down while you're going through your script. Additionally, the audio interface is the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. And again, if you're using an iPhone, you don't have to have a fancy audio interface. I recommend using the Rode products, so the Rode Lavalier or something like the Rode Wireless Go. Those are extremely solid options and you can get really good audio from them. All right, so let's go over how to set up OBS. There are extremely detailed tutorials online. We're just gonna show you the basics of how to set it up and kind of like the most important things, so kind of just the 80-20 principle here. But you're gonna go to settings first and you're gonna click on it, and then you're going to click on output. And then you wanna scroll down to recording. So we're not talking about streaming here unless you are streaming. You wanna scroll down to recording. And then this is obviously where it's going to put the recording after you're done. So in this case, it's gonna go straight into downloads. And then there's the recording quality. There's different options here. Right now it's high quality and medium file size. Now we recommend the medium file size. That's what we use because it's almost as good as the other ones, but you have a medium file size, right? So it's not going to take up all of the memory on your computer. Now the MP4 recording format is the most compatible for most editors. And then with the video encoder, it's best to use the hardware setting if you have a powerful computer. So it's the H.264. So this is the one we use. So we actually have 4 different audio tracks selected because we have 2 different mics, this one, and then it's also recording from the camera and from the computer. So just in case one of the mics doesn't work out for whatever reason, we have backups. Now, generally speaking, you're probably just gonna have 1 or 2. Then we're gonna go to the audio on the left here. And then when it comes to the channels, make sure that it is stereo. And then here in the audio settings, you would select which audio you want to record. I'm not gonna mess with this because we're already using OBS, but you would select which audio you wanna record in these parts here. And then you wanna go to video on the left here. So on the base canvas here, we are using 4K cameras. And so we set this to 4K. That's what 3840 by 2160 is. That's 4K. For a lot of people, you'd probably be setting it to the 1920 by 1080 because that's 1080p. So we're recording in 4K, but we're encoding in 1080p. And that creates a better version of 1080p, right? Because if you record it in 1080p and then you encode it in 1080p, then it wouldn't be as good of a version, if that makes sense. So it's basically a little bit of a hack to get a slightly better picture while still recording in 1080p. so that your file sizes aren't astronomically large. Now for the downscale filter, you can research on what camera you have online. For us, the bicubic sharpening scale is the best one. And then when it comes to the frames per second, I highly recommend that you set your camera to either 24 or 30 frames per second, and you want that to match what it is here, right? So in our case, it is 29.97, and 24 or 30 frames per second, some cameras only have one option or the other. That is going to be the closest to the human eye, and it's gonna seem the most natural. So that's gonna be the best one to use on YouTube. So usually 24 and 30 kind of match up with each other. It's not a big deal if you have 24 on the camera and 30 on here. They're close enough. And I don't recommend using something like 60 because it's extremely jittery. You know, that's what they usually use in war films, for instance, and it tends to make people feel kind of anxious. So don't use that. So at that point, you're pretty much good to go. So we're gonna click OK when it comes to settings. All right, so now I'm gonna show you how to create a scene, but I am actually just gonna drag over the OBS that I'm using right now. So you should be seeing my screen right now. And like I said before, this is cam A. So the one I'm looking at directly here is cam A. The one to the side over here is cam B. The third one is the double cam check. That's not necessary, but it's just a nice thing to have. And then there is the screen recording. And if you wanted to add another scene, you would go down here to the left and you'd simply click plus. So I'm just going to add this as a test scene. All right, Future Shane here. I just want to tell you that around this part of the video, the audio was not recording. When I was doing the scene changes and stuff like that, it messed up. So what I'm gonna do is add a voiceover at this point of the video. So continuing on, I'll add my camera here by clicking the video capture device. So let's rename the new source as video capture device test, then press OK. And then I'm gonna select my camera by clicking on the drop down here. And you can see that there's a bunch of options and we're supposed to select Cam Link 4K, but for simplicity's sake, let's select the webcam here. And then we're gonna resize it so it fills up the screen. And then I'm gonna add an audio input capture source and name it audio input capture test and press OK. Okay. And then default, I'm just going to go ahead and use the computer audio, which I think is this one. Click the computer audio and then OK. And now we have another audio input device. So this is the audio coming directly from the computer. So it's probably not very good. But yeah, now we have another audio input device. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete this one just because I don't want it interfering with our other audio devices. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it. Be sure you want to remove it. Yes. And now we're back to the normal input. So now I'm gonna go ahead and show you the different scenes and kind of what we've done with them. Obviously there's kind of a lot to it, but I'll go ahead and just kind of like click on these different ones. So cam A, you see cam A here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click on properties so you guys can see exactly what we've done here. So you can see it's linked to the cam link. We selected the resolution here at 4K because we're doing 4K, of course. FPS is 30, just like I said before. And that's pretty much it, pretty simple. And the reason why we have all of these sources in one scene is because we are exporting multiple files in one go. And we found a really neat plugin online where it basically allows you to do this and it just makes the entire process much easier. And I'll have that plugin pop up on the screen and maybe we'll put it down in the description below as well. So I'll just show you really quickly what it is. We'll go to filters. So record cam A is the filter that we were talking about. I'm gonna click on it and these are the settings for cam A so that it goes out as a source. So I'll just quickly scroll through these. You can check it out and you can see NVIDIA here. This is what the video encoding, constant bit rate, 2500 kilobytes per second. By the way, look this up, the bit rate, look it up for your computer and your camera, what the appropriate bit rate is. It's going to be different for every computer and every camera. And yep, just scrolling down and you can see everything here. And yeah, so Source Record by Exeldro is the plugin that we're using. Really cool plugin. And yeah, so that's about it. We have all of these. The display capture, of course, is, it captures the screen. Cam A, Cam B, then we've got the Shure mic and we've got the Shure overhead mic as a backup. And then we also capture audio from Cam A as well as the computer. So I'm also gonna show you the audio mixer setup here. So you go to audio mixer and I'm gonna click on the gears here and you can see what mics are going to what different tracks. So you can see, track 1, 2, 3, 4 for the desktop audio. You can see for this overhead mic, it's track 2. You can see that the main Shure SM7DB is track 1. The Sony a7S III Cam A is going to be track 3. And then the Sony a7S III Cam B, we actually don't even record from that one. And you can see it's pretty much the same with all of these. These are all the ones that we have. And yeah, that's about it. That's how we set up OBS. You do have to have a bit of a powerful computer to do it this way, but most people that are recording are not going to have these super powerful cameras, and I don't recommend you do that unless you are a YouTuber that is extremely advanced. I highly recommend you just use something like an iPhone or a very simple camera like the Sony ZV-1 because it's just much easier to set up and it works really well too. And so that's about it. It's pretty simple, honestly. There are more complex guides on how to use OBS online. We keep it pretty simple. OBS is an unbelievably good tool. I cannot believe that it's free. If you have the extra money, I think they take donations, and they're kind of like Wikipedia. They basically just survive off of donations. Really great company. Really appreciate OBS. It's literally like the best software on the market, and it's free. It blows my mind. I was paying like thousands of dollars for other types of software and hardware, right? Remember, I was using this. And to be honest with you, I've had a much better experience from OBS than these other types of really expensive software. Now, of course, these other types are more useful if you're doing like maybe live events in a giant venue or something, then you have to get these other ones. But if you're just recording YouTube videos, OBS is unbelievably good, and I highly recommend it. So by the way, check out the tour video that I did of my entire new set by clicking right here. Now, one thing that we offer our clients is we will actually help them to do setups like this or just basic setups. We basically help them with any of the tech needs that they have. We'll hop on with them one-on-one, and we'll make sure that their tech needs are fully taken care of so that they just don't have any tech worries at all. So we give away all the information completely free on this channel. We don't gatekeep anything, but if you are interested in a done with you or a done for you solution where we help you to grow and make money on your YouTube channel, really turn your YouTube channel into a real business, then go ahead and book a demo call with us down in the description and the pinned comment below. And we did another video where it was a tour of the entire studio, and you can check that out by clicking right here.